Hi, this is Aron and Linda with Traveling Flamingo, and Linda is currently working on her next video, so she's here with us in spirit. And today we're going to give you a tour of the staterooms on the beautiful Celebrity Edge, and give you our thoughts on the Infinite Veranda, which is slightly controversial. All of that coming right up. Today we'll be looking at an Aqua Class stateroom. However, what you see here should be the same as any other regular cabin stateroom. We will have some additional thoughts and comments at the end of the tour, so keep watching for even more information and things we might have missed during the room tour. So with that, I'll pass it back to Aron from the second day of our trip to walk you through the room. Hi, this is Aron and Linda with Traveling Flamingo, and we're in room 262 on the Celebrity Edge. Let's show us our room. So as I said, this is room 262 on deck 10. It's an Aqua Class room, and it has the Infinite Veranda. So we're going to show you all of that right now. So starting on my right, you've got a LCD control panel that does all your lights, and then two light switches. This one controls the lights in the room, and then the other one controls what's in the door over here. So over here is the washroom. Let me give you a quick tour. On this side, you have your sink and your mirror. Now this is a spa class room, so I think the lotions and stuff are a little different, but this is what it looks like. Very well organized. You know, all of this is very well organized and well optimized. Over here, going into the bathroom, you have the toilet, and on our right, the shower. Now this shower is pretty big. I am a fairly large individual. I am 6'4", and I fit in here perfectly. So, what do you have in here? Well, there's a footrest. That's mostly for shaving your legs. They have a whole bunch of rain heads. Starting at the top, you have the rain, and then you have a waterfall one right next to it. And then you have a wand, followed by two, I don't know if you can see them there, should be right there, two little side jets. Now what I don't like about the shower, these knobs are not very descriptive. This is for temperature, inside is for power, turning on and off, and then this determines which heads you get. But if you confuse this with this, you're going to get hot water. So do be cautious of that. And there are two little knobs over there to hang whatever you need. And it is a glass shower, which is really nice. Let me show you again. Sorry for that. There you go. All right. Now that that's done, let's take a look at the room. So starting on our right, in this, we have cabinets. So these cabinets open here and here. And so you got quite a bit of storage space throughout here. And down here. Now what I do like, and perhaps some wouldn't, is they use some of this space for accents, like this reef, I guess. On our right, we have the main closet. Now we do have a few of our clothes in here. However, you got coat hangers. Down here you've got an umbrella. You've got binoculars, which is awesome. Shoe shine bag, laundry bag, and that is a sewing kit. So probably cut to a slower view of all of this. Just below that, you have a safe, and then you have two pull-out drawers, and they are fairly large. Three pull-out drawers. Gonna have to count. And then over here, you've got your closet space, full length, and if you see back there, because this is an Aqua Class room, there's two yoga mats. So Linda was very excited about being able to do yoga. And close those. You'll notice the accent lighting that runs throughout the room, which is quite nice. That's the air conditioning. And the artwork, which is also very nice. I really do like the artwork around here. So on to this side of the room, on the right, left, I suppose. You've got some other sort of like accessories, like they've got this vase. You can see our room steward, Emilio. Got this nice lamp. There's bottles of water. It's actually 4, but we drank 2. They gave us Pringles, which is great. Well, you have to pay for them, so they're just in the room. You've got 3 larger drawers, and that does come with the Celebrity bag that I guess you get to keep. Over here, on this white drawer, you've got the bar fridge, and here we do have the beverage package because it's Aqua Class. That's the water. That's some tequila, sorry, beer, wine, and there was 2 Cokes and 2 Diet Cokes, but one went missing last night. And then this is a fully vaccinated cruise, but they have face masks and hand sanitizer. Inside of this cute little box is your power, which is great. It's got 220 for Europe, 110 plus all the other 110 adapters, one of those universal outlets, and 2 USB ports. So that's great. There's a little desk, which is nice. Additionally, I believe if you wish to move the desk away, you can slide it in and slide it out to give yourself a bit more space and use the chair for extra seating. On to the left of that is a large sort of sofa chair. You can lay down on it, I'm sure, if you wanted to. And then there is also a little sort of cooler storage place. The lid's a bit heavy, there we go, and you can put some stuff in there. Though I would think you'd be likely to lose things, but you all might be able to remember where you put it more than I would. Right of the bed, you have power, light switch, and 2 USB ports. Telephone and Edge branded paper. Now, let's take a look at the bed. Very comfortable. I believe it's a king. And then you've also got a Samsung television. But let's talk about the Infinite Veranda, which I'm sure a lot of you are wondering about. And we definitely were also. It does have 2 nice little chairs, so you can sort of sit out here. But you can see there is no out there, because it is just the side of the ship. So, what do? Over here, you have 2 switches. One switch is for the window, and the other is for shades. So I'll pull the window down so you can see. And while the window's going down, I want to call out there are 4 little infrared sensors on either corner. And if anything is in the way, this will not open. And we found that out the hard way. So when you open this up, I'll step back so you can see, you basically get a veranda. And for all intents and purposes, this is outdoor space. You can close it off. So I move these chairs in. There is doors, or are doors. So you can close it off. Now there's lots of pros and cons to this, but that is how the Infinite Veranda works. Now I'm going to put the veranda up. I might speed this up simply because up seems to take longer. But again, you can see it is tinted glass. And in my opinion, it makes the entire room warm and takes a while to condition down. So unlike a veranda when you can go out, open the door, come into a cold room, doesn't quite happen with this. And that might be the one thing I don't like about it. They do have blinds. I'll show you those quickly. These are the blinds. And I'll leave those halfway, but let's go back, take a look at the room. So this is a Aqua Class room on the Celebrity Edge. Very nice room. Bed's very comfortable. I like a bunch of little things, like all the attention to detail, like this wood paneling on the ceiling is very nice. It's a wooden back wall. So I really enjoy these cabins. I think they're really nice. So with that, I will pass it to Aron in the future, who can probably tell you more about what we think about it after we've slept in it. So a few things we wanted to bring up about these rooms, and specifically the Infinite Veranda. There is a hairdryer, which is located under the sink, and this wasn't until a few days later we found out where it was, so we thought it'd be a great tip for you to know where the hairdryer is in case you need it. Linda was trying to dry her hair out the Infinite Veranda at a couple points in the trip, and knowing where the hairdryer is will probably save you from having to do that. The Infinite Veranda is a good idea, but I didn't like it as much as regular balconies, and there's a few specific reasons why. When you open up the window, it takes all the cool air out of your stateroom. So much so that even walking through the corridors, you could tell when someone had theirs open because you felt that heat and humidity in the corridor. There are bifolding doors, which do help keep some of the room air conditioning in, but it's not as effective as it could be. They're not really insulated. This leads to where you want to get back to some AC, you'll need to close the window, which can take some time. It's not exactly the fastest, and then ensure the AC cools the room down. It's just not as easy as opening a door and walking into a cool stateroom. I didn't feel like it really added to the space. They talk about how the Infinite Veranda adds to your room space. It's a neat feature and something you should try, and Linda found some very creative ways to use it for things like yoga. However, all in all, I didn't really feel like it made the space bigger, which is one of the selling features of it. The Infinite Veranda is also a tad noisy. Maybe not for most people, but you can definitely hear when your windows are being opened or closed at night by your neighbors. So if you're a very light sleeper, be warned. If you're not, you probably won't really notice this, but you can hear it sort of in the middle of the night. The minibar fridge is also a little noisy, and if you're someone who's a light sleeper, that may get annoying too. However, this could have just been our unit, but we could definitely hear it at night. I like the additional power in the room and the power box with lots of power options for your devices that help with cable management and made the room look a little bit cleaner all in all. We do also have a USB power bank that we highly suggest for these types of cruises. You have a lot of devices that can be charged by USB, and these will give you up to 10 ports to 12 ports of charging capabilities for you to charge all your devices overnight. There'll be a link for this in the first comment below and in the description if you're interested in it. I also really liked the fact that the bathroom had a built-in nightlight, so you didn't have to bring one, and it was easier at night to use the facilities. So that was a really great touch. As we had mentioned as well, another great feature was the fact that you could store your luggage underneath the bed, so it kept all of the bulky stuff pretty well organized and away from where you're storing your clothes. The room didn't require a keycard to keep the lights on, so as you've seen on other ships, you have a spot where the keycard kind of fits into, and that keeps your lights on, and when you leave you have to take that card out. You don't have to do that on these rooms, so there's always power all the time, which is great for charging your devices. You won't come back and wonder why your device wasn't charged. The bathroom was really well laid out and a good size, even for height. As someone who's 6'4", I was able to stand perfectly fine and didn't feel too cramped in the bathroom in general. There were lots of great spots that were well used, and I think this is a great example of how to use space in a small cabin. So there you have it. That is our thoughts on the Infinite Veranda and the staterooms on the Celebrity Edge. This would be very similar to the Apex and the future Celebrity Beyond. Thank you very much for watching, and happy travels.